too close or too far away. It's much too early, or it's far too late. Maybe I'm too old now, I'm just afraid that you'll walk away. You're across the room from me, but it's an ocean wide, and the current's pulling us, dragging me aside. Or you're a constellation, and I'm just a star, blinking in the universe, but you'll never notice me at all. Just believe me, even if the words don't come out, they're here inside my head, stuck inside my mouth. I do need you. Ooh, I love you. I do need you.
I wish we stayed the same. I got way too many thoughts in my brain, but I got memories that run through my veins. I'm not one to blame, but I could point out every way that you changed. Some things stay up while others go right down the drain, and lately we've been going down in flames. But if I'm honest, I get in my feels when I want you. Say you feel it too, I'll haunt you. Hold on till I'm lost in the fun.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Mini RPG of the Week. My name is Swaces, and by my side, I've got a new face for you all. It is the mighty Orion. How are you doing today?
Yep, doing pretty well. Not just by your side as well, I am also behind you about 12 different times. Not sure how I feel about this, but I'm just going to roll with it. But yeah, we are here for the 18th edition of Mini RPG of the Week. Been a couple of weeks since I've last been on. I've played the last couple, and now here I am back in the casting booth, and what a pleasure it is to be back.
Oh, fantastic. Hey, look, it is chaotic over here, alright? Mini RPG of the Week is one of the most fun things I do. I love it a bit, even though, as a Trackmania player, I'm garbage. I don't know what's going on. Everyone in chat knows this, that I suck at the game. I suck at casting it as well, but we still roll with the punches here, Ryan, alright? So it does not matter how much we know, but what we do know is that you are quite a good player at this game. So I'm expecting you to give me all the knowledge on this one. Don't try and deny it. I know you're good.
I mean, I'm okay. There are definitely probably about 50 players in this lobby that are a lot better than I am, because I don't think I've ever gotten more than top 50 in Mini RPG of the Week. But we can talk about this week's map. The name of the map this week is Little Green Hill, as being mapped by Courage, who mapped for the Artifact Cup and also the test edition of Mini RPG of the Week. So that's essentially like edition 0 of Mini RPG of the Week. And he's back here mapping again. And he has described this as, I will quote, a mini RPG where you'll be going up and down hills. Now, I haven't seen the map, but I read that and I thought, is this just AO8 but forwards and then backwards? It sounds like that.
Maybe. I'm not too sure, but it'll be interesting to see when we actually get into the warm-up of this event here, Orion, alright? That's going to be the main thing, just to start seeing exactly how it's going to pan out. Then we can really go into depths of what the explanation is of the track and what Garage believes to be a good benchmark for people to go and set. Normally what we see as well when the map makers go around and try and get their own best time, that they do pretty good ones, but then at the same time, when you get all the top players coming in and joining, that's when it starts to really show what the fine details are, how the margins are really pushed, and then you see the best times on the map. But with this type of tournament here, though, it doesn't really matter about constantly getting the very best times. It's just about consistency to get yourself towards that top 4, top 2, winning that whole tournament as well, because it's not just a single race where you just got to be the best. It's a long run until the finish line.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about consistency. I think the first time that I was on, we saw a map that had speed checks left, right, and center, plastic bug slides, the whole works, quarter pipe jumps, risky fins, and I think by the time we got down to the top 32, I think there was only 2 or 3 of like the top 10 TimeAttack players left. So, as you say, it is really about consistency and not ultimate pace when you're playing RPG in rounds.
It is about making sure that you get yourself up in the run-ins and just keep on going until the final line. You don't want to make a mistake, because that'll guarantee you knocked out as we go forward, as we head into the warm-up. Our first look at this map, very hilly, and you'll be going up and down, is what the initial sentence has been given to us, but now we can give the longer description of exactly what is going on. And this is directly from the map maker, and it says the map starts with a little speed check, so you need to take the first transition and turn correctly. An ice section, we need to be careful leaving it at the end, because your wheels are still going to be frozen. You need to turn quite aggressively, and it ends with a slightly angled plastic bounce. With all of that information, and being the much better Trackmania player in this casting booth right now, Ryan, what do you make of this?
Well, we're watching the GPS at the moment, and we saw the speed check at the start. It looks like that you just have to clear a little gate that you have to jump over, and it didn't look too difficult as long as you take the first turn correctly. And now we see an absolutely wicked 360 over the quarter pipe, which the mapper believes to be faster. We'll see how long it takes the players in the lobby to actually figure that one out, see how many of them actually watch the GPS and start going for that strat. Does it look like a risky one, as we see the plastic bounce to finish. Looks like you have to take quite an angle there if you want to get into that first finish, but also looks like you could just safe it and go through without hitting the plastic and then take a wider turn into that second fin. But obviously the plastic bounce intended is going to be the faster option.
It'll be all about that momentum to get the speed up as you approach that next little jump onto the area where you start going around that kind of loop-the-loop sort of section as well. As look at that, that is the finish line as well, which is quite a tight turn at the end. That might be what he was referring to in his own description, which could also cause a little bit of chaos as we progress forward throughout this competition. But seeing all these names come up, Yannick's is someone that we have seen before. I'm not going to do the same as I did the last time I was on this cast, where I call him Yannick's tongue, which was quite an embarrassing moment in my life. I will not lie, but it was all for fun. Hey, all right. It was my first time doing Trackmania. I don't know what it meant, all right? It's the same thing in other games where you see like RL or something. I don't know. But that time I realized, this time I didn't, and that will forever stay with me, which is very awkward. But it's all really looking quite tight here, I would say, to be honest with you, Orion. It looks like it's very difficult towards this endpoint as well. We are seeing BMX just try and get the right route, get the right speed, the angles that you need to attack it with, and that quick bounce off that wall as well needs to be judged to perfection.
Yeah, it seems like a few players there were a bit confused, thinking that it was a plastic bounce into a bug slide, but I think BMX just realizing that you can actually just full speed it. You don't need to land at 90 degrees and get that bug slide, which seems like it's pretty impossible. So players figuring out the end. We haven't really got any representative times yet. I think it's just all still discovery. So far, Tarful currently has the best time with a 1:16, but we've been told that a sub 55 is already a good time. So I think we should see within the next, I don't know, 5 minutes or so, the 1 minute barrier being broken as we start to get clean runs from the top players in the lobby that come here every week and frequently are in those top 10 positions.
It is all about that learning curve. I don't really think as well that people will be going for a singular fast lap. They'll probably just go and be going by sector, trying to see what the best approach is for that middle part of that initial sector is, and then seeing further forward down the line, trying to get that next entry into the next part of the track right, and then they can try and focus on that improvement for the next part of it, alright? That's sort of the approach that we're seeing here from a lot of players. Some of them are just going to go and send it to try and run around the whole track and really make the most of what they can see. But I don't know if that is the correct approach, because there's so much you've got to try and remember, because this does seem to be quite the chaotic track. As right there as well, we do see people going for a risky move, going for that big old jump over the center of the racing line, which instead a lot of people are just preferring to go and take it wide and just stay on the ground rather than risk that jump, which I'm sure can probably buy you a lot of time. But if you really want to be using that sort of section, you need to be leaving it till the end. But with this warm-up, it's a good time to try and get used to it.
Yeah, this little section here seems to be catching a couple of players out as well. If you miss that drift, it's so difficult to try and turn the car back round, and then you have the setup for the half pipe as well. So it's really difficult, this little section. It needs to be precise, otherwise you're going to compromise your run going into the quarter pipe. We see a 360 being tried for the first time. Players maybe figuring out that it's faster, just copying that GPS. As you are correct, we have broken the 1 minute barrier, courtesy of Exotics. Nearest person to him is Ice with a 1:02. So players starting to get these no bonk runs in, as you would call them.
The no bonk runs. Look at Peter Wolf there, trying to make that really long jump around. I think players are starting to realise that it might be a little bit too risky to go for that one. Maybe it's just a bit of bait as well to take people out the game for trying to be a little bit too cocky early on in their runs. But look at this section once again. You've already marked up on it here, Ryan, where it is so difficult to get it right. This jump as well needs to be timed to absolute perfection, because as we've mentioned as well, this next little run up, you've got to try and jump over that little gap to get into this final run to try and get around and judge it perfectly onto that almost quarter pipe there is really, really important, because if you misjudge it and you nip your wheel just over the edge, you're going to lose all that speed, all that momentum you've carried. You go into this final section there and cross the line with a lot of pace if you hit it correctly.
Yeah, I think that quarter pipe as well, it has 2 speed checks pretty much right after it. So if you jump too far and you hit the outside of that quarter pipe, or if you catch the edge or anything like that, you are not going to be able to make that next jump. So important that you get that right, because otherwise you're respawning way back to even before the quarter pipe jump.
Exactly. We're also seeing here right on the starting line that if you do not get this initial run perfect, you will just slap yourself bottom out on that jump across, and that immediately just sends you flying, barreling into the air and into the distance. And that will just ruin your run from the very beginning. Also, I love that cross section there, where if we do see people delaying behind, that'll be very cool to see everybody just crossing amongst each other. Sylvian Goodrift is the man that we are seeing in his warm-up session. He's just chilling, he's just drifting, he doesn't mind too much. He sees that run hasn't gone too well, as we're starting to approach the 58.3s, I believe. That's a fantastic run from Snow.
Yeah, I was going to mention Tarpor setting that 59, but before I could even talk about it, Snow straight in with a low 58, so starting to eke out the time on the map, starting to optimize. Still not down to that sub 55 that the author claims is possible, or is a good time. I'm not sure what the GPS drives, but I imagine that it's probably within that region. As we have Marius, the safe meister himself, on a pretty good run here actually. Never mind.
Oh yeah, alright, you just had to curse it, didn't you, Ryan? Of course, and he's messed it up again.
It happens, you know.
Hey look, the safe meister isn't going too safe there. He is full sending it, trying to go through. Oh no, Astronaut, this is the man that ruined my Trackmania career from the start.
It's your favourite Trackmania player, Astronaut.
Oh my gosh, I don't even want to mention it. I don't even want to see that name ever again. I love the player, he is fantastic to watch and great fun, but that name will forever be fearful to me.
Well, at least you haven't done a max yet and casted a warm-up round. Imagine doing that.
Oh, he's running into the second section here. Look at the jump across him. He's trying to chase them all down. I'm not doing that. Don't worry. That is still probably topping the most embarrassing moments that we have seen of Mini RPG at the week. But that's the good part about this tournament, alright? It's all done with the community in mind. We want to make it fun for you all to watch at home. We want to make it fun for the players to be able to run around and just enjoy their time flying around this track. But look at Astronaut here. My word, that is a lovely run. And going for the 360 over the top. Oh, that's so unfortunate, though. Just nipping that edge. And still does get over, as you mentioned, Orion.
Yeah, I thought it would be if you hit any part of that quarter pipe, you are just full dead, but it seems that you can make that little speed check there even with a little bit lower speed.
Oh my god, you're absolutely sent through that tiny little gap as well, aren't you? See here as well that if you don't get it right, the drift is just completely gone from you. You just lose all of your speed. Yannick's as well, a player that we have seen a lot in recent times on Mini RPG of the week, really fighting for those top spots. He just goes and flies around. We've now hit 56.2 here, Orion. Snow, the one that has been the one to provide us for it. He is nearly a second ahead of the rest of the field. already seeing some strong contenders come out.
Yeah, we saw Yannick's there. We were told that if you come off the ice and you try and turn too quickly, you could slide out, and almost just does that there. And that wall, oh wow, wicked.
What?
Yannick's literally doing his best Tony Hawk impression there with a plant onto the quarter pipe and a drop down. What an absolute chad. He might even set a quick time here still. I haven't seen too many players get that quarter pipe jump completely clean. Let's see what Yannick's ends up with off the plastic. Goes for the bug slide. Perhaps not quite realizing that you can just take that full speed. You don't need to over angle your car like that, otherwise it scrubs off all of your speed at the finish. Might see a couple of snipes at the finish if players are convinced that the bug slide is the way to go, but we know better, and that it is just better to bounce off that plastic and full send it into the end with as much speed as you can possibly carry.
Well, we have now seen another player 56s. That is Marius Safemeister, the player to go and do that, which is quite interesting. We are seeing a very tight top 5 now as people are starting to get used to it. They understand what the track really wants out of the player, what they want to do with the car, and how to effectively approach it. Everybody seems to have figured out as well that it might be best to go for the 360, but Yog here as well actually deciding to just go straight up and over, playing it safe, not really wanting to try do the 360s. He feels it might be a little too much for him to be able to handle, and does catch that back right wheel on the corner as well. I think this run might be over, as he is already in the 55-second sort of section as he does approach that final sector as well. How does he approach this final line? It is actually a very good run till the end. If he can keep that sort of consistency up, where he managed to approach a lot of speed into that final sort of area of the track, then I'm sure he's going to do quite well as he goes forward into this competition.
Yeah, there is another little block that I want to pick up in this track, which I thought had been quite insignificant, but quite a lot of players are failing at, and that is after the quarter pipe jump, you have 2 speed checks, and then you have to go kind of up a loop and then put yourself onto an angled block, which is only about the width of a car, and a lot of players have been just overshooting that little jump to get onto it and clipping that back right wheel. So that one could be a place where you lose a lot of speed. It doesn't really compromise you and doesn't mean you have to respawn, but definitely a place where players could be tripping up, and probably not one of the major kind of components of the map.
I do really like how unforgiving though this map is. If you make a single mistake, you are losing at least a second on your time as you try and race around it. So anything at all that does go wrong is just going to be destroying your lap times as you run around it, which I like. It just tries to tell everybody, play it safe. Don't worry too much about really putting in the lap times in until the very end. Do your best to fight up till those top spots, that top 10 position, something which is really sought after. Anybody could do that by simply just playing the safe field, doing the runs that you feel comfortable in, as we have seen a 55.3 come out in the Yannick's.
Wow, that is an insane time. 0.7 of a second quicker, 0.8 of a second quicker than Yuzo in second place. Most times, I think we have, everyone in the top 15 now is a 58.6 or better. So some really, they've really got it down, and starting to get some consistent players on the track. But yeah, that 55.3 from Yannick's is going to take some beating at this point. It might end up being beaten in the latter rounds as players get more and more comfortable on the track, but that is quite the statement from Yannick's.
It is really going to show that he is the contender to go up against. BMX there as well with a 56.0. As you've actually seen Marius fall down the order quite far. Was in second place for a while, but still has not managed to improve on that 56.5, which he managed to gain a few minutes ago. But as we go further on through, we do see Yakozdo as well, a player from Portugal, who also is a very good player, one of the top players from Portugal, in fact. As look at the black pulsar, trying to make it all the way across that jump. I don't think that's going to be the best move to make there, Chief, but it is a system which people want to try, alright? They're going to be pushing the limits, aren't they? There's no backlash to making a mistake here when you are in that warm-up. It is the time for everyone just to turn around and say, you know what? Screw it. Let's send it. Let's see what we can do to really knuckle down and get these best lap times. Blackpool Stowe is struggling. Not someone that is in the top 15 currently, but maybe he might be able to find a line which is comfortable for him, something which he can get smoothly down, get the job done, trying to get himself up further into the rounds.
Yeah, as you were saying, it is good to try and push the limits. You don't know where the limit is until you get there, but I just don't think that there's enough speed there. And to be honest, it's probably quicker just to make that little jump over to the right, because reducing airtime like that and getting on the black platform on the right is probably just as fast over once you get past the ice as actually just, you know, full sending it. But I don't think the speed is there, so player's going to have to use that black platform regardless. Now, this is the block that I was talking about earlier. You do need quite a wide entry. Blackpool's managing to get on with quite a narrow one, but I think the safe strat there is to go quite wide and align your car early. Otherwise, you kind of have to just throw yourself onto it and risk flipping or overshooting it, or even just hitting the wall straight in front of you. As the warm-up has concluded and that 55.3 from Yannick's remains untouched. We have had another 55 though from Yuzo. That's a 55.7. But we are in 2 rounds now, starting off with a warm-up round, which we are not going to cast, but it will be it will be interesting to see how players cope, if we got a lot of clean runs or whether we can expect. Yeah, there are quite a few. Yeah.
Crazy.
I don't know how many we got. 78 players.
Wow.
That's a pretty good turnout. But
That is good.
all right, Swazes, I need your guess on how many players are going to be eliminated in the first round. And bear in mind, if they do not finish before the timer ends, they will be eliminated. So I think we've had upwards of 10, 15 before is usually around the number. So if you guess right, you get the pride of being right.
I was expecting some sort of like a chocolate bar or something like that.
No. I'm stingy. I'm stingy.
You're stingy like that. So I don't get the goods in this whole event. All right, fine. You know what? I understand how it is, okay? I will go for the gentle number of 13. You know what? Screw it. 13. That's what we're going to go for. Yeah, I reckon there's only going to be 13 people that get knocked out. Even though this is clearly quite a difficult track, I reckon that's the maximum we're going to see leave.
Okay. Yep. We'll see. My guess. 9.
9.
I think 9. I'm going a bit more conservative because it is a respawnable track. Sometimes it's incredibly difficult if you bonk in the wrong place to actually complete the map. This one seems like you can respawn most parts, so I think even with like four respawns, you might still be able to sneak in that top 4. We'll have at least 2 players AFK. That always happens, so there's 2. Another 2 will just hit something and hit DNF, and then there'll be another 5 that don't make it. Calling it.
Okay, well, here we go. Time to test if your theory is accurate, Orion. As we do get ourselves underway, the elimination rounds are where we find ourselves right now. We've already seen a few players just fly off the track and just go off the side, so they're probably going to be finding their way out the door off the premises of Mini RPG of the Week. As look how many cars just fly through that midsection. It is chaos. Imagine if there wasn't any sort of ghosting going on at all. They would just clatter into one another. But at the back, we are seeing players such as Viking, who is really fighting for their lives, and I don't think they will be surviving this run through, as it's just all over the place. That is someone who is struggling, especially in this ice section. Their tyres are going to be extremely cold, and they somehow managed to flip it going down there. I don't exactly know how you managed to do that in Trackmania, but it's quite impressive.
I think that there is a block there. It's a platform block, which is just slightly raised, and usually you have enough speed to make it with a jump, but Viking had such low speed that he just crashed right into it. Poor man. But yeah, start of this round, the first couple of checkpoints were an absolute car graveyard, and we can see Viking, who had an absolutely horrendous start to this, has come back and is in the white here. We have 30 seconds left. I think you've gone way too many with 13. I think 9 might be it. Wait, hold on. No, it's 8 eliminated at the start. I thought it was only 4. I was wrong. So we only need one more player.
You could be onto it here. You could
I could
genuinely
be on for a winner.
it. Yeah, if you are, that would be incredible. You know what? I will give you 1 exposure. That has been the recent meme that's been going around, all right? And exposure is what
so many of
is
them, though.
Oh, have you? How many have you got now?
Scenarios gave me about 10.
What? So, oh look, you got it wrong anyway. 8 players eliminated.
Oh, come on, man.
You were close, but not quite close enough. That exposure is all mine, Orion. Get destroyed. Nothing you can say, nothing you can do. As look, we go into the next round. 71 players are left remaining. The third round of 24. And, how do you say this? Bubbles? Bubbles? I think it's Bubbles, surely, right?
Bubbles.
Bubbles?
I'm going to say the word bubbles, but with a French accent.
Bubbles. Wonderful producer in the background is being a complete and utter nuisance and making many random noises as we go along because he's fantastic. We love Deploy. He's a brilliant producer, and he's now speaking more. Apparently, that is his name is Baboos, which is apparently we're going to have to pronounce it like that as well. We are probably gonna be told very soon. We are watching Hazard at the moment now, though, just run around the track, sort of tripping up all over the place as well, as that is
Wicked.
a wonderful front flip.
Never
And the
mind.
side flip puts it all together, and it is a little bit of a mess at the end.
Oh, is Bison going to make this one? Yes, he does. Just makes the jump with the speed. Now needs to get onto this tricky angled block. Instead goes for the grass, going full safe. Can see he's in the white for the time being, but only just. I think he's one position away from being knocked out, so a fail at the end here could cost him. Needs to get the plastic bounce perfect, does so. Last player in, Bison, I believe. 64th onwards, going to be eliminated.
Oof. Really close quarters then for him. He needs to step it up for the next round to ensure that he will be able to fight on this battle that he has entered himself into. Viking here as well. The legend, the warrior. I love Viking. He's officially my favourite Trackmania player that I've ever seen, alright? He put up a fantastic fight in the first round, okay? Brilliantly done. But unfortunately, this time around, it wasn't quite at the same level. As, yes, you were correct. 64 and backwards were all taken out of the equation. But now we knock ourselves down to 4 players being eliminated. We're still quite far out from getting to the intensity of the final few players battling it out for that first position, as once again, it's just, I love seeing that jump where we have about a million different cars just all flying over it, that occasionally one just goes off to the side, one goes to the left, the other one just sends himself to the moon. It's so much fun to see, but at the same time, we still have to realise 4 players will be taken out, so really, I'd be more comfortable going into this round than I would the first few.
Yeah, and I want to point out something that has slipped under our radar, and that is Hazard
No
with a
way.
54.7. That's
Okay.
4/10 faster than Karage's author time. So Hazard has just absolutely smashed that in the first round, or the first couple of rounds. I don't know if it was the very first one or the previous, but my word, if they're driving this quickly at the moment, how fast are we going to see people going by the end of these rounds? We're on 4 of 24, another 20 rounds left. We're already in the sub 55s at the top end. From Yannick's. Wow.
Oh.
Top end is looking tasty, Swacers.
Hazardu, Yannex, and Snow all within 0.3 tenths of one another. But look how close Yannex and Hazardu are, literally 500ths from each other. This is going to be a brilliant battle that we shall see as we go forward towards the end. I still think, though, the top players in this lobby will be testing the waters. They don't really care at the moment, because if they do it perfectly for 3 or 4 of the different sectors that we have on this map, they still can respawn and have the time to build their speed back up and run it down to the end to make sure that they keep on going through. They're still testing it out. They don't need to worry too much so far.
Yeah, as I think there's at least 4 players every time that clip the start. There we go, there's 4 of them. So that start speed check is still catching players out. I've also seen quite a few players not really sending it as much as they would like over that sausage curb and just hitting the wall as they go past. Doesn't seem like the icy tyres are catching too many people out, though, and I haven't seen anyone yet slide out into that wall. It seems like you've got just enough space there to control yourself, or you can just go with the slide and loosen speed. Oh my,
Whoa!
what is that from Arkano?
Oh, that was stylistic, I would say. Freestyling his way to this middle section. That is the best thing we've seen all day. Do you reckon that's just what he's going to do for the rest of the time now? Just do some awesome flips for us just to gaze upon and be amazed by it? Yeah.
I'd love it. I don't know how intentional it was, but it was definitely very cool.
It was pretty awesome, I will admit. And I don't even know what's going on. Just seeing a car spin around and just land it is just a very nice thing to see. I enjoy that quite a lot. But we are still seeing players getting knocked out as we go down. Bison here, one of the players who is fighting for a position always at the back, will see himself out of this competition. Laser Shack as well, Flolaf and Riri, all the ones to fall out of the competition in round 5.
Yeah, but if you look at the splits, it was 23 seconds back from first, so what did first place do? I'm going to assume around a 55, so as long as you're within about the 115s, which is probably, I don't know, 3 respawns maybe? You're still within a good chance of being in, so it is really testament to how RPG is more of a survival, at least when you're, you know, not quite up at the top end. It's more of a survival than how fast can you go, and I think in that respect it differs to kind of the Cup of the Day style format, where you do kind of have to drive at pace consistently, especially if you're in the higher divisions.
Keep it cool as you run through this middle of the Pack Park. We are seeing Punks running through. He doesn't decide to risk it with a 360 and actually does clip himself on the edge as we move over to Walshy as well. Going through this section, gets a really nice line, allows himself to build a decent amount of momentum as he goes up and through, but goes a bit wide here as well, which loses him. He's made a bit of time. That wide angle, not really the quickest for people to take. He is fighting for those bottom spots, but he has found himself up in 43rd places. Everybody has stacked it on that half pipe.
Yeah, Walshy is definitely a good player, capable of a top 10. Might have got a top 10 in mini RPG before, so was surprised to see him lingering down the back there. Has made his way in. It's going to be, oh dear. Well, he was out anyway. He was out anyway.
It's fine. It's fine. We don't worry about that. Yeah, as you say, he was already out. He was just enjoying the time. He wanted to make it last a little bit longer, okay? That's all he wanted to do. He loves Mini RPG of the Week that much, alright, okay? He's chilling. He's having a good time. Another 4 players removed from the competition as we are down to the final 54 for us to watch on through and see them battle themselves out. It's still going to be 4 players eliminated per round up until we get the final 16, which at that point really starts to get to crunch time.
Yeah, haven't seen any real improvements up towards the top end of the table. Hazard still on that 54-7, Yannick's with a 54-8, Snow 55 dead. So seems like players are maybe just pushing in the first couple of rounds where they know that even if they make a mistake, they'll probably only have 1 respawn and will easily get in. But now maybe just taking it a bit more cautiously, making sure they get to those final rounds, as we do see someone having a bit of a struggle on the ice, but someone having a bit more of a struggle in front of him, and he's going to overtake at least a couple of players there. It's still in 49th, so he's going to need to make 2 passes, but still got the quarter pipe and that pesky little angled block to go, so anything can happen towards the end of the run.
It definitely can. Lolo actually still here fighting for their lives as they do move up into 47th, only just about holding on. The one behind them is Nistroza, who is still looking to try and get ahead. We are seeing right at the back though, he has lost so much speed, so much time. I think he will see himself away from it. Costa nearly getting knocked out as well. Oh, he is knocked out. He's gone. That's a big surprise.
He must have missed the finish. I didn't see exactly how, but whether the plastic bounce was just wrong or if he went for the bug slide at the end. He said teleport lag. Feels lag, man.
That hurts. That really hurts because he is a fantastic player as well.
Yes, he is.
Oh, he's very, very good. To see him fall out of the stages here so early on is quite the disappointment, but I'm sure he'll be back to fight again the next week, which hopefully his internet is sorted by then and is not as crazy as it is right now. We do get ourselves down into the final 47 here. Still early days, heading into the midsection of this tournament, as we are knocking out many, many players as we go on down, as it is really starting to get a little bit tetchy towards that midfield.
Yeah, it is. Still seeing players fail that start speed check, and I think that is kind of the catalyst behind most of the knockouts that we're seeing, because if you... Oh dear, that's a big respawn. If you do clip that start, then I think you go all the way back to the start. Nyaruku, one of the better British players in the lobby, finding themselves in those final 4 spots, but with a lovely little drift and not so lovely bonk on the wall.
Oh no!
He's found himself the wrong way. Oh, this is painful. Thank you for... We didn't have to watch that.
We didn't want to see our own comrades go down, did we? We didn't. That wasn't something we wanted to see all that much. But you know, he may be out now, to be honest, because that was not the best section. And everybody else is running towards the line. That is the first player that is guaranteed to be leaving us. Is Amodio, Ruko, Pima, and Momik the Rock as well will be leaving us all. And now it is the top 43 left over, which, as I said, this is starting to get to the sort of area where a lot of players are fighting at around the same sort of level. They are very, very consistent, so it could go almost anybody's way.
Oh, look.
Oh my gosh.
54-5. Oh, and your favourite player, Astronautum's done a 54-7 as well.
Shut up, man. Let's go, Astronaut. Alright, that's your real name. I'll respect it this time around. But that's a ridiculous time. 54.5. We're just cutting it down even more as we go along here, Ryan.
Yeah, that's mad. We were told a sub 55 was a very good time, and he's just gone and beaten that by half a second in rounds. So, and we're not even halfway yet. We started out with about 78 players, and it's only after this round that we're going to end up with less than 40 as we see some wicked things happening on the ice. Just players going off each side, all over the place. But yeah, the icy tyres not catching people out as much as we were thinking that they could. Seems like everyone is able to deal with that, and they evaporate pretty quickly as a lovely executed 360 from Boat Tiger. His name is Boat Tiger.
Oh,
it's an English stream.
Boat Tiger? Are you... Yeah. Okay, right, yeah, I heard the English stream. I heard that bit. Yeah, that's fine, yeah. Bozbez, there we go. Even more English. I'm sure there's probably... He's down and out! No, he's not. He lives. He lives. He's here.
Oh, Boz.
It's all right. We're okay. He does live on. The first player, though, that we can see is... I don't even know how you say that. Volley de pork? What?
Something pork.
Volley de
pork.
Thank
you, Deploy.
Yes. More very loud noises in my ear. I honestly just near on exploded when he said that. That was excruciatingly loud. As more noises just come through my headset, that's always fun. But yeah, Pursuit as well will find himself out down in the dumps as Darrigan or Dergen. You tell me, alright. I
didn't see it.
Dergen. That works. We like that one, alright?
Yeah, I think the biggest story for me in that round was seeing Bozbez at the back, who is arguably the best British-Irish Trackmania player, and frequently plays Mini RPG of the Week and is frequently in the top 10. So to see him down in 40th place, not even half distance, was quite a surprise, but he did manage to pull himself to safety as we now enter what you could describe as the second half of the rounds. And at this point, I think it's going to get a bit harder. If you make one or I'd probably say 2 mistakes is going to be your limit now. 2 respawns, and I think we'll probably be looking at maybe like a 110, 105 cut-off time to get in, as a lot of those top 20 players will be driving clean runs at this point.
Definitely. This is also going back to the unforgivingness of this track, alright? A single tiny little error. You can be quite literally just a wheel width wide and you will just tumble. You will do a ridiculous amount of spins and take away all of your speed, all the momentum that you've gained throughout the procedure of this track, and that's it. That's going to be your whole mini RPG of the week over. Done. Completely done and dusted, just because of that one tiny little mistake, as we are seeing so many people go really quick right at the end, but no one is able to do it if they can't keep that consistency up. We do have another player that has entered. Oh my gosh, we have so many 54s going on. We have 6 players in the 54 seconds. That's mental.
Yeah, Yannick's Hazard Astronaut Anix now, who is in the top 15 but has improved significantly. snow and ice. That's quite funny. We've got snow and ice in our top 2. Would you believe it? So yeah, some. What do you mean?
My God.
So some really good times. And as I expected, it was, I think, when we first started, about 25 seconds, and you were still safe. That round it was 13. So 2 bad respawns, and you're done. You're out. That is it. Goodbye.
Good night. Sleep tight is what we shall go with in the end. Branko here as well, really struggling on that entry to the ice section, spinning around, really losing all that traction, so much momentum, finds herself down at 30, if only a few positions from being down in the elimination zone. Alpha Dream, that we are watching on now, right on the cusp of safety. And
oh, look who's in the bottom 4.
Crazy. No, it's not Hazardu. It can't be. There's no way he's out. He's surely going to be able to claw it back. Right?
Oh, Icelandic guy.
Oh, he's there. He made it in. He made it in. All right.
What? Don't speak too soon. He's still got the plastic bounce.
That is true.
I think he's going to make it.
He should be alright.
Yeah, I think he's
ice?
there. Wait, ice!
Ice!
No way!
What?
He's in.
Oh
my word.
This is insane that we are seeing. No way. Nako, the night fastest run, is out.
Yep. It happens.
That is crazy.
When the map bites back, you can just lose. That's it. It's a hard map, and it's full of places where you can just get little clips that end up costing you a second or 2, and if you can't make the speed checks after those clips, then you just have to respawn, and it's going to cost you at least 2 or 3 seconds. And as we get towards the meteor end of this, who what?
54 for 3.
54 from Anix. Anix has just blasted his PB to astronomical heights out of nowhere. I think he was in the 55s before, but he must have found something, some sort of strat. I don't think there's a cut anywhere, but like, that is incredibly fast.
I have a feeling we're going to see 53s here, Ryan. I have a very small feeling that someone's going to do it. It is definitely possible. 100%. But Lupito here having a bit of a mess, looping himself all around the map. And although he still has a chance for survival, we have seen quite a few respawns over here on the back, so far away from where the rest of the crowd is that they've almost confirmed themselves as out, unless they get really lucky. Support here actually has a chance. He is up to 28th, I believe. He is there, but he will not be able to do it. Everyone else having a really clean run, and as well, I think he bugs out towards that final little section there, which does mean he will find himself. Oh my goodness, that is a fun. What a finish. There we go. Look, the smooth reverse over the line. What a way to end your run in the mini RPG of the week.
Yep, well, another 2 notable players out. Bozbear's out and Tarpor out as well. We've seen him get quite a few top 10s in mini RPG of the week, and I believe I expected to see him in the top 15 because his time's usually good, but he isn't. But very notable player out, and we now have 27 remaining. And I think at this point, it's one mistake and you're out territory. We're in that level of consistency now where really you need to be completing the map without having a significant crash. Maybe a slight clip and you'll be okay. If it's just a temporary loss of speed, you get the rest of the map cleanly, but any further mistakes and you're staring straight down the barrel of elimination at this point.
Almost definitely. Just going to give a quick little tease to what we have coming up in the break. I will tell you all right now, stick around for it, because quite frankly, it is one of the coolest things that I have ever seen, and you guys may or may not, I'm not going to say too much, you have to do something about it too. But we'll have to wait for that. We'll have to wait. We can't tell you too much quite yet. Just wait for the break, because we have a lot of big things coming up as we get into the transitions into even more Trackmania after it. But now we head back into the action. Snow here is right at the bottom. He is fighting for everything. Can he be able to bring her back? He needs a miracle to survive. Someone messing up on his final push. He will not be able to make it.
Wow.
Snow, third fastest on the map, finds himself out. And BMX!
And BMX, yeah. BMX has the 11th fastest time. Walshy out as well.
Wow.
Another good player. So they are falling like flies now. Maybe surviving in the earlier rounds just after making one mistake. But at this point, any mistake could be costly. And we saw Snow there. He was absolutely pushing like hell at the end there and catching up. But ultimately, There was just too much time in between him and those safe positions, and he is going to fall here as we are almost down to our top 20 here. Top 20 in this round going through, and I think that's where we really will start to see the clean, consistent driving as opposed to multiple crashes. Marius is down at the back. I feel that he's got enough of the map left that he should be able to come back. Only needs to make up 3 positions, and I think he's about to do that in one corner here. Takes that nice and tight. Should get the slide here as well. Goes nice and inside on this one. See it where he is at the next checkpoint. Beautiful 360. Should have a lot of speed going through. Marius puts himself up into those white positions, and provided he doesn't make another mistake. Hazard is down in the red though. Has to get onto this angled block. There's a crash in front of him, so that's 1 position gained. There's another one. Hazard up to 20th right now. Still needs a miracle. Is he going to get it at the end?
He is!
Yes, he does. Snipes it, does he? Is he
I don't
out?
know.
He's out. He is out.
He's gone.
He couldn't get it. He's gone. I thought he had enough speed at the end because someone was still going for the bug slide, but out by, I think it was only a 10th. Out by a 10th. Wow.
Oh, wow. The 5th fastest player on this map finds himself out of the competition as we head into what is going to be the top 19 players that we have remaining. This is really starting to come down to the wire here, Orion. You cannot make a single mistake. Go for consistency, but make sure it is very, very fast. We're really looking now towards that 56, 57 mark being the benchmark for you to be able to make it through. One mistake and you could be gone. This could be the end of your mini RPG of the week run as Berry Beetlewolf there. That's a big mistake. Finds himself right down at the back. Will be chasing down that next player and does get past him. 16th is his position. An astronaut right at the back is going to be really struggling to find his way through. Does get a nice little entry and drop down to this next session. Nice and wide line, but unfortunately it's still not quick enough to catch him on the next player, but a mistake will allow him to take up 1 position. A good exit on this too. Could find him a second. He will get through, but it's still not enough. He needs another mistake. Beetle is in front of him. That's the next player that he is eyeing on up. Will he be able to get around? I don't think he will. If Beetle keeps it cool. Astronaut struggling. Can he make it to the end? I don't think he... Oh, he can! Right at the last, Beetle crashes into the middle and does not find his way through.
Oh my word, you have so much finish to aim for, man. Just drive at the open bit. What a way to be eliminated. An astronaut. PayPal has been signed, sealed, delivered. Poor Beetlewolf.
Saved in chat. Saved in chat. You didn't save it, astronaut, alright? Beetle gave you that position. And now we're into the top 16, ladies and gentlemen. 2 players per round we have reached. And this is going to be close. No mistakes can be made.
Yep, and I don't think there was a single clip at the start there. Only 2 players being eliminated. Oh, there was a clip from Jan, who's going to find himself down at the back. I think there must have been a clip leaving the transition from that sausage curb as well as Any Betty all the way at the back. So it's just Jan and Any Betty. Although Jan overtaking Aziris on the ice, and another clip from Aziris. I think that is going to be the end of his mini RPG of the week, as it's Any Betty just having to overtake someone. Still got the quarter pipe coming up, so plenty of opportunity for some fails to come through. Unfortunately, it is Any Betty himself that hits the wall, and he's not going to make up any positions on that quarter pipe. About a second to the next player, or half a second now, as he is catching up. Finds one. There was a big mistake there. I think a back wheel just clipped. He is still out there. Is Jan out, actually? Alpha Dream off the plastic, looks for the bug slide. I'm going to find it. So Alpha Dream and Aziris, who we saw crashing at the start of that round, going to be the casualties here. Look how many gravity players there are. Oh my word. What?
I can't even begin to explain what that is. I don't know. What is a gravity player? Please tell me. I'm still totally new to this game.
Do you know what I mean by a club, Swaces?
Ah. You know what? I've just noticed that. That now makes a lot of sense. Oh my gosh, I'm
semi-professional Trackmania caster Swaces, ladies and gentlemen.
Nah, I'm just an amateur at this, I'll be totally honest, alright? Take me into another game and maybe I'll have a chance, but that is big mistakes. Yogg at the back, he is one of the fastest players on this track, hasn't actually got himself a top time but he will need to really fight back, and does actually as well. A lot of mistakes being made from Any Betty again, and Yuso is a player right at the back of the field, now chasing everybody down, almost fighting amongst themselves. Yog and Any Betty side by side, right matched to each other as we head into the final sections of this track.
I think Any Betty actually got a landing bug there. He had way more height, and I thought he was going to have more speed to overtake Yog, but just ended up with nothing. Might even be overtaken by Yuzo here, who actually crashes out, and I think that's Yuzo going to be a fatality of this one. Can Any Betty get the snipe at the end? Anyone failing the end? Doesn't look like it, and Any Betty and Yuzo going to be out into our top 11 now. Only 6 rounds remaining at this point.
There are 6 rounds, as I see that I'm getting rinsed in chat. Yes, I apologize. Look, Gravity, 2 players out, Any Betty and Yuso. Alright, look, at least I noticed it this time, okay? Better than not noticing it whatsoever, even if I need to be helping out with noticing it. But it is into the top 11 players at this point. No errors at all. All speed, all mechanically perfect. Needs to be done right here and right now. Look at the front. Alex just running away with the field, loving his life, loving this track, and feeling pretty good. Jan here as well, struggling to keep up with the pace of the field. Someone went off the track. Beta Toast is the player that did. I think he's going to see himself out of this competition, but right at the bottom as well, we are still seeing Yog, who is not having the best time, still getting caught up by absolutely everyone. Beta Toast around this corner, getting a decent smooth run, but does bonk towards the end and takes a horrible line. That is not what he wants. As Astronaut as well at the bottom here. If he needs to pray for a miracle, pray for a mistake, as it's chaos for him. Respawns at the end. I don't think there's going to be anything that can happen which will help him survive.
No, that is Yog in 9th. That is where they need to be if they want to be in, but too many mistakes there, finding themselves 10 seconds back. Astronaut, I believe, was the player that failed that jump off of the ice, and Beta Toast also making more mistakes. Not even going to take the finish, it's just going to reverse nice and calmly.
Interesting.
And finish. There we go.
Okay.
new line, new end.
Yes. No, it's just for the gangster stuff, you know. He's looking the real. He's the real winner of that round, I think, right? Just doing that reverse made him look pretty decent. He's a cool dude now. That's it, straight up. Nothing else needs to be said. But look where we are, top 9. And now we have all the top players that we expect to be here, all right? This is where it's all about the speed now. You can't really care too much about the consistency. You just got to keep it up, run to the end, and hope for the best, as Yog already has made an awful error. And I don't know if he's going to get back up. Yeah, and as you mentioned, Ice is going to need to really push hard for even a slight sniff of a chance to make it through. That is close to the mark, and up high as well. Loses all his speed, clips the rear wheel, and gets overtaken, put down into nearly last place. Oh, it's gone all wrong. It has gone so wrong for Ice. I think he's done.
He's just hit DNF. That was what we saw earlier, where if you don't have enough speed there, you just clip that block that pokes up, and that is you dead. So Ice there. That's the second best time as well. Don't know if you are aware of that. Has a 54.5. Wow. But he is out, and Yog, is he going to catch Exotics here in front of him? I don't think so. He has clipped. Exotic didn't fail the finish either. So it's 8 seconds back, 4 seconds to 6th. So maybe you can get away with a clip now and still maybe be in. But that is it. Like, any big crashes at this point, I think you're done.
It's going to have to be the smallest little touch, isn't it? The slightest bit of play that goes against you or wrong will see you away from this competition. The final 7 all going round. Exotics making a mistake, and Jan right at the end as well. Everybody just going and flying off the track. Mistakes being made early on at the start. It is not what you want to be seeing. That speed check is something really difficult to grasp at the beginning. Now Jan here is the only one really in with a chance of survival. Needs to pray that someone makes any kind of mistake. He is begging for something to happen in his favor, but I'm not sure it's going to come through into this slalom. Really tight round to the left, doesn't bonk the wall, keeps a lot of speed up, and he is catching up slowly, but I don't know if it's going to be quick enough.
Yeah, we'll see if anyone clips on that awkward angled block. I think that's where he can gain if he's able to get it cleanly. He does. He's got Lupito in front of him. Wait, what?
Yog left the server.
Oh. Okay. Oh, wait. Exotics? With the snipe? Oh, my word. Yannick's out as well. I think Yannick's failed the finish. Did Yog leaving then mean that we had one more elimination than we should have? I'm not sure.
He wasn't playing. I'm stupid. You know what? Just don't listen to me.
You actually made me question everything there.
I questioned myself, and then I think I realised halfway through I was like, I've just led him on to like a horrible thing.
You literally just baited me into thinking that Yog leaving has affected that round in some way.
Oh
for goodness
my
sake.
gosh! Again, that's just me being a nutcase and not having a clue what is happening. All right, I'm tired. I've had a long day at work. All right, leave me alone. However, top 5, sorry, is now where we are. And if you do make one error, that is it. You are gone. You are out, and yeah, that's probably going to be confirmed that Jan will. Well, no, Exotic, sorry, will not be able to make his way through. Oh, it's gone horrible. It has gone horrible. He's just flipping around on his back. He knows that it is game over for him. I think he's a little bit tilted at his performance in this as well. He still doesn't get a clean entry onto it, but it doesn't really mean too much. He is 14 seconds behind the leader, and if he is to somehow manage to make his way through right to the end, then I don't know. It'll be insane to see.
Yeah, that is interesting because I think he just took too much of like an inside line, really, and then his entry for the ice was completely messed up. So unfortunate one to lose it right at the start. Everyone else just able to save, apart from Anix, who has just driven the fastest time that we've seen so far at 54.3. Sorry, there was a crash right at the start, and you go and drive the best time that we've seen in the server throughout the duration of the event. Madness.
Insane.
Absolute madness.
Ridiculous. He is on a rampage at the moment, rampant through the fields, and has really asserted himself as the player to beat right now. He's been so consistent and with a lot of speed, but we do see ourselves with a top 4. Anyix, Marius, Jan, and Lupito. Lupito, the first one to make an error, and that is surely going to be all done and dusted. Everybody else at the front knows that he's made that error. 2 seconds behind the pack. All they need to do is just keep it cool. Make sure they make every single corner. All this ice section as well. Will they be able to do it smoothly enough? They will. Cleanly over the bumps. Over to the side. There is a bit of a bong, but it's not really going to be too much to worry them about Lupito, who's just falling further and further behind.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Anix. Look how low he takes that jump. That's where the time is. I have no idea how he was able to take that quarter pipe so low and reduce airtime. I'm going to have to see that from his POV next round, and I already know that I'm cursing him by doing that, but that was absolutely ridiculous. You saw Marius and Jan just go flying into the air, and Anix just drove over that quarter pipe as if it didn't even exist. So he's driven a 54.3. Now we know how.
Insane. That's just crazy. He's also got a 54.7 there, by the way, which is still a ridiculous time that he is consistently putting in 54 seconds, right? That is a good time to make on this track.
Yeah.
The person who designed it and played it consistently, probably for ages and ages, only just about hit 55s with pushing to the limit and putting in hundreds and hundreds of runs. And now we're just seeing these players really find all those limits. Look at him go. He is so smooth with his runs through. Allows himself to have that wide exit, which also just initiates that lovely turn back into the center. He is already, though, right in a really tight battle with everybody else. Jan there taking the lead for only a split second, and now he wants to take a tight line, really risking everything to fight for his survival. Will he be able to catch up? He is still right on the tail of Marius and Anyix, and will he be able to get any sort of speed at all? As Orion, you've noticed something.
I did. Anix goes really early on the quarter pipe and gets a really early...
Oh, Anix!
Oh, he's failed! He's failed on the last block. Surely that is him out.
No way!
There's nothing left to fail unless Marius or Jan fails on the plastic bounce.
No
Neither of them are going to...
way!
Oh, Anix looked in pole position, but is not going to make the 1v1. We have Marius and Jan in the final round here to see who is going to be crowned victorious in the 18th edition of Mini RPG of the Week.
None of these players have had top 5 times. None of them. And yet they see themselves as the last contenders. They need to get everything perfect. Safemeister already losing onto the start a bit, but will he be able to get a decent exit onto this run down into the next sector? He will, and he gets the lead, but for how long? Jan trying to get back onto his tail, takes a big risk by having a massive jump, now finds himself so far behind Marius. He is already falling back by half a second. Needs to ace this ice section as he runs on through, sees the jumps in his sights. Can he get him right? Doesn't want to bonk the wall and doesn't. Stays nice and close through this next section as well. Has to build up as much speed as possible, risk it all to ensure his place as the winner, but Marius just keeps on running away with it, almost a second ahead at this point. I don't think anything's going to stop him unless he makes a big mistake, and Jan makes a big mistake. Marius knows it too. It's a free run to the line. Nothing is slowing him down, as your winner of this week's mini RPG of the week is Marius.
And what a run from Marius as well. 55.3, respectable time in the end. Jan knew that he had to push and risk everything. In the end, just carrying too much speed onto that angled block. And it is Marius victorious here. Wasn't even in the top 5 times, and that just goes to show that it is consistency and not ultimate pace that wins you mini RPGs.
Every time. Every single time. The player you expect to win pushes it too far, and that's when they lose out there, Orion. Every single time. They can't keep it smooth. They can't keep it cool. They just keep on wanting to see that time go down and down and down, but that's not the end game. The end game is to win the whole thing, and Marius was the one able to do that. What a performance we have just seen from the man. I am so happy to see him get a victory on this mini RPG of the week as well.
Yeah, absolutely, but I think we have to talk about Anix as well. 54.3, I think he did, and
crazy.
Flawless run. We saw him take that. He took a different line to everyone else on the quarter pipe. Now, the mapper said that the 360 was fastest. I think the Anix method was faster. He goes up early and then almost just cuts across the top of the quarter pipe to drop down early. That looked so much faster. He gained like 0.3 there every run. But then he was literally in first the round before the 1v1 and just must have clipped a back wheel or something on that angle block, which we saw so many people failing despite being such an insignificant part of the map. And that was the final casualty. And then the 1v1, Marius took an early lead and Jan just had to push it a little too hard for his liking. I think even with a clean run there, Jan would have still finished in second.
Yeah, really, it didn't seem to be Jan's day in that final run, but he still did a brilliant job of not posting one of the fastest times and somehow getting himself up into second place. Even that top 3 finish would have been a sublime performance from the man himself. So congratulations though, Marius. You are the winner of this week's mini RPG of the week. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a break where you guys want to stick around because there's something a bit fun for you to play with. Have a look at this right now. We'll see you after.
You've got me under your spell, waking up a picture you with myself. You've got me under your spell, in and out of love, I ain't feeling well.
All I seek to find is a world that's mine. Need a place to hide. Will you free my mind? Following the light of a world that's blind. In your eyes I see there's a place for me. All I seek to find is a world that's mine. Need a place to hide. Will you free my mind? Following the light of a world that's blind. In your eyes I see there's a place for me.
We gon' make you move. We gon' make you lose. We gon' make you move. So baby, let's jump in tonight. Let me get funky. to side. We gon' make you lose, oh, inside your mind. Oh, we gon' get you through this, just for one more high. So baby, let's orbit tonight. We gon' make you move, from side to side. We gon' make you lose, oh, inside your mind. Oh, we gon' get you through this, just for one more high. So baby, let's orbit tonight. Let me get funky. Let's lose our mind. Let me get funky. We gon' make you move, from side to side. We gon' make you lose, oh, inside your mind. Oh, we gon' get you through this, just for one more high. So baby, let's orbit tonight. We gon' make you move. We gon' make you move.
what you want. I give all I am to you, I give a lot. I'm already gone. It doesn't make sense, 'cause you're not honest. I wanna understand, but that's not what you wanted. When you think you got me, I played your game. When I think I got you, you slip away. I'm already gone. I wanna understand, but that's not what you want. I wanna understand. When I think I got you, you slip away. I wanna understand. I wanna understand, but that's not what you want. I wanna understand. When I think I got you, you slip
We can rock with a rhythm. We can rock, rock, rock. We can rock with a rhythm. We can rock, rock, rock.
Come on.
We can rock with a rhythm. We can rock, rock, rock.